Hey everybody, today on my top 5, I'm going to talk about who are my top 5 anime male villains. So here goes, and be warned, there will be spoilers. Number 5 goes to Tetsuo from Akira. Tetsuo is a member of his best friend's biker gang, and he is constantly being picked on. That was until he crashes into an experimental... That was until he bumped into this child with extraordinary abilities, and now he has become a powerful being with horrifying powers that could destroy anyone and anything. Why was this character so villainous? Because I thought his powers were just freaky. I mean, he can make things and people explode and stuff. I mean, for one thing, he can stop and destroy a giant tank. I mean, he could even destroy a whole bridge. Not to mention that he will kill anyone who pisses him off with those powers. I mean, he even killed one of his friends. I mean, I will admit that most of these things that he could do actually when he's in control, but when he's out of control, that's where his powers just become really freakier. I mean, when he's out of control, he unleashes something really horrifying. But I will admit, what I liked about the character is that we could sort of relate to him. I mean, he's constantly being picked on, and he wishes to be stronger. And when he has that opportunity to use those powers, it makes you question what you do with those powers. Number 4 goes to Fuma from X the series. X the series tells the story of two groups: the Dragons of Heaven who want to save the Earth, and the Dragons of Earth who want to destroy it. And the only person to decide that fate is Kamui Shiro, a powerful teenager who must face his destiny. So what makes Fuma so villainous? It's because he's the last person you would suspect to be your enemy. Your best friend. You see, in this anime, Fuma starts out as this really great friend of Kamui's. But he is also Kamui's twin star, meaning that whatever Kamui decides on what to do with the Earth, Fuma will do the opposite. So when Kamui decides that he wants to save the Earth, Fuma goes evil and has powers that are evil to Kamui, and to prove that he's evil, he kills his own sister. Ouch. Not to mention that he also attacks and torments Kamui's friends as well, on a personal level. You have to watch X series to check it out. Number 3 goes to Jinai from El Hazard the Magnificent World. Jinai is a high school student who will do inconceivable acts to become the ruler of his school. But his plan fails because of Mizuhara Makoto, an honest young man who Jinai loathes entirely. That is until Jinai and Makoto were transported into the world of El Hazard, where Jinai decides to become the new god of this world, and to help an army of bugs called the Bugram help him take over the whole world of El Hazard. What makes this character so villainous? Well, it's because he makes me laugh. Okay, I know that's not like the greatest reason why, but that's pretty much it. For me, Jinai is like what would happen if Adolf Hitler and Mr. Bean had a love child together. Not to mention that he has without a doubt one of the most unforgettable laughs. I especially love the moments where he and the Bugram work together, because when those two get together, it's just like a laugh-out riot. They just make a great comedic pack. Number 2 goes to the Count of Monte Cristo from Gankotsuo. The Count wants revenge on the people who put him in prison in the Chateau d'If. And he does this by manipulating his enemies. But they don't know who he really is. And he destroys everybody's life when they get involved with him. He destroys their careers, he also destroys their friends, he even makes them lose their money, and he even makes them lose their sanity. And I have to admit that I loved every single moment of it. I mean, for me, I just couldn't help but give in to that beautiful evil that is revenge that he brings. Which I have to say is one of his most attractive qualities about him. Villains who love being evil, I suggest watching Gankotsuo. And the number 1 anime villain for me is Gendo Ikari from the Evangelion series. Gendo Ikari is the leader of NERV, an organization who fights these entities called angels. By using these giant mechs called EVAs, which are piloted by teenagers, which also includes Gendo's son, Shinji. Why is this character so villainous? Because he only cares for himself! I mean, he makes his son pilot a machine without giving a care about his well-being. Not to mention that he clones his wife to create Rei Ayanami. And not to mention, I think he has a certain attraction to Rei, which is a little bit sick and twisted. And not to mention that he manipulated a relationship with one of the characters' mother, I think. It was the doctor lady. He also has this relationship with the doctor lady, but I can't remember much about that one. Not to mention that he also makes his son try to kill one of his best friends. It's kind of sick. And why does he want to do all of this? Because he wants to be with his dead wife. What a sick weirdo. I mean, for me, this guy is every child's worst nightmare. There is no way in hell I would like to have this guy as a father. I mean, for me, even listening to his voice, it's like a knife ever so slowly being stabbed in the back. It's that painful just to listen to this man. I mean, just because he works for the good guys doesn't mean that he isn't evil. I mean, he is villainous, he only cares about himself, and he deserves to be eaten alive. Which actually happens in the anime. Well, I think, End of Evangelion, I think. So if you want to see a vile villain who's pretty much the worst father of the year, I suggest watching the Evangelion series. So, that was my top 5 male anime villains. I would like to hear your top 5 male anime villains. Or female villains. Whichever your choice. I'll see you guys around.